Good morning. It's a midweek edition of the program Summit, and it's good to be with you again today. On this program, you get to have apt information on everything happening in the polity. My name is Jumoke Michaels Banji. Good to have you back today.
Jumoke, thank God that I have rejoined you.
Yes,
you were in the saddle of Monday all alone. But thank God I got feedback that it was top notch. Yes, it's a fresh edition of the program. My name is Banji Busari.
All right, so today on the program, we'll be looking at two major issues. We'll be looking at the issue of the State Congress in Ogun State, and we'll also be looking at the 1-year anniversary of the NSAS protest. Today makes it 1 year. And well, joining us for the first discussion this morning, we have the APC Publicity Secretary, Ogun State, in the person of Mr. Tunde Oladujoye. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you.
Yeah, it's nice
to have you from the Gateway State.
Yeah.
How is our governor?
Very
Dr.
well.
Dapo Abiodun.
Very fine.
So much I know is happening, but for this session, we're actually concerned about what happened on Saturday. I know APC had its congresses across the federation on that day.
Yeah.
On Saturday, but in most of the, or let me say many states had parallel congresses, of which your state, that's Ogun State, was one of them. Maybe I should start asking, how did it go?
Well, for us in Ogun APC, it went well, and I don't want to be belaboring myself about discussing the issue of parallel congress again in terms of whether it could be called parallel congress or not. I found out that the media have suddenly fallen in love with the word parallel, just as we fell in love with bandits. Instead of calling people terrorists, you are calling them bandits, and you stuck to it. There is nothing like parallel congress in Ogun State. For you to have a parallel congress, you must have had what was on both sides equal. That is, maybe the party at the national level sent 2 committees to Ogun State to conduct elections on both sides. That did not happen. You must have had INEC monitoring the elections on both sides. That did not happen. Then you must have had the state delegates maybe dividing themselves to 2 to go to both sides. That did not happen. So there is nothing like parallel congress, so to say, but the word is very fanciful. What happened was that we had a ward congress, and at the ward congress 5 delegates were elected for the 236 wards. That is 5 times 2, 3, 6. Those were the basis, the foundation for the state congress. After that, there were protests, petitions from the other side. And the petitioner.
What do you mean by the other side?
Exactly.
I mean people who now went to do a charade now. People who felt they had issues with the World Congress. We had Senator Leko Mustafa, Senator Tolo Debiyi, and one Baruwa from Ijebu-Ode. And the party set up an appeal committee to listen to their issues. They were invited. They made presentations. The party also invited other people to respond, including the chairman of the World Congress, Shivwale Onu, including the dead acting APC chairman. And at the end of the appeal, the World Congresses were confirmed by the party, which means the 5 delegates appointed at the world level were confirmed, and they were going to be the delegates to the state congress. So, and those were the delegates that came to what we had in Kuto, Abeokuta, at the Nkabila Stadium. Apart from that, you are supposed to have 236 councillors as automatic members of the Congress, and they were there. Then after the World Congress, we had the local government Congress. After the local government Congress, the party at national body sent another committee, appeal committee, to Abeokuta, and they sat for 4 days. And there was no petition, no appeal from anybody, which means the local government Congress was confirmed, and the members, the executives were sworn in. So for the state Congress, we are going to have
Sorry, before you go ahead.
Yeah.
What actually necessitated the sending of the appeal committee from the headquarters?
It is a structure. It is the structure of the party, whether there is petition or not, because there is inbuilt mechanism so that grievances could be attended to, you know. So even at the end of this state congress, we are still going to have appeal panel. It is the structure of the party, and it is in all the political parties, you know. So when they sat, there was no petition, and to go to state congress, you have to have the local government party chairman and the local government secretary as automatic, and we had 40 of them at Kuto. So I don't really understand when people talk about parallel congress. And the party responded in Abuja 2 days ago that anything outside that structure is not more than naming ceremony. And I have added that maybe a reunion of family and friends.
All right, sir. As much as you said that you do not consider what happened as a being
congress.
Parallel congress. Okay, so but what actually, because we know that there were two, okay, maybe we should call it factions.
It's not a faction. Maybe you can call it splinter group.
Splinter group.
Because you can't equate that to a party.
Yeah, so let's call it a splinter group from the party. What exactly is their grievance? What did they say is their grievance?
Honestly, I don't know, except you have to get them
somebody from
to come here and tell us what their grievances are. But what I know is that ambition, political ambition, desperation are part of it. And don't forget that this same set of people left the party in 2009 to another party, Allied People's Movement.
We heard that the governor's faction and former governor
Ibikunle
Amosu's faction.
That's why I'm telling you that there are no factions. What you have is a splinter group. You cannot equate that to a party. It's not about faction. And even in the party, we have to be very honest with ourselves. In APC, we have people who will say, I am a follower of Tupac Bengadane. I am a follower of Aremo Oshoba. We have DA-like minds, and so they have come together to form a political party. So, and you cannot equate any of them to a party, to the party. You understand? Because the party is an amalgamation of people, different interests, and what have you. But I'm telling you that this group of immediate past governor in the state was the same group that went to Allied People's Movement in 2019 to contest for the governorship election. And for the first time in the history of this country, we had a sitting governor who just won a ticket to be senator on APC, coming out openly to campaign for the governorship candidate of another party. I know that led to his suspension. The party at national board, they suspended him, they dissolved the ESCO. So when they said they were back in March 2020, the candidate then of APM, Kunle Akinlade, announced that they were back into APC. I'm saying, fine, you are welcome, but you have to go back to your various wards to join. Some did, some never went to their wards because politics is local. You are a member of the party right from your ward. And as we approach 2023, a lot of things are coming up in terms of interest, in terms of ambition. But whatever ambition, whatever interest you have, the membership of a political party, once you are a member of this party, you have subjected yourself to the rules and regulations of the party. If you think you cannot obey the rules and regulations of the party, you have to leave. And they left before. They left in 2019, they contested, and they came back. And the question is, as you have left in 2019, if all of us left, what will have remained of the party that we have today? Will you have a party to return to? So it is very basic. It is between a group that is being propelled by somebody who sees himself as bigger than the party put together. Because if you look at, it's not only in Ogun State then, even in Imo State, the governor was suspended. Rocha Sokosa, who is now a senator now. It shows that nobody is bigger than the party. If you are a former governor, former this, former that, former senator, as a party, I have just one membership card. You have one. We have one term. But the party even concede some privileges to this former. If you're a former member of the House of Assembly, you're automatic member of the delegate. Former senator, you're automatic. Those are the privileges, but not to stay somewhere and do what is above the law and do what is against the rules and regulations of the
Earlier on in the course of the program, you spoke about the confirmation of the delegates from the World Congress,
yes.
5 each.
Yes.
Who actually did the confirmation? Was the confirmation to the agreement of all the various, either splinter or the main group?
The point is,
or how did you arrive at the confirmation?
The delegates were elected. Once they are elected, 5 per ward. I was elected from my ward, for example, because I was aspiring to be a state officer. And to be elected at the state congress, you have to be elected from your ward. So once you are elected from your ward and there are no issues, you are automatically confirmed. Now, but because there could be grievances and there were at the ward level, the party sent another committee separately, appeal committee from Abuja, and they sat for 4 days and they look at the merits or the demerits of their petitions, and they asked the person that supervised the Congress to make case, to give reports. We presented video evidence, we presented photographs, we presented documents, and at the end of the day, that appeal committee confirmed the exercise at the ward level. That means there is no other delegates apart from the state delegates already confirmed by the appeal committee and which were elected. Now, to go to the local government congress, there was no petition by anybody, which means all the ESCO at that level were confirmed and they stand elected. And 2 of them, the secretary and the chairman, will now be automatic to the state congress. So that is what we had. So state congress is not about jamboree. There are specific people that must attend the state congress: sitting councillors, chairman and secretary of the party at the local government level, 5 delegates per ward, former council, former senator, House of Rep, House of Assembly that are members of the party, and including the serving ones. Those are the members of the state congress. Any other person at the venue of the congress are probably there for sightseeing or to support their people or to even sell things, as we saw at Kuto. People are selling food, selling drinks. But those one are the not one outside them are members of the state congress. And in our own congress, if you monitor it very well, on the day of that congress, we had more than one person contesting for chairman. We had more than one person contesting for my own post, publicity secretary. But at the floor of the congress, there were consultations, persuasions, and all other opponents withdrew. And we had one candidate each for all the posts. But that notwithstanding, we still have to follow the party's regulation that said that even where you have consensus, you must still subject the consensus to voice vote of either yes or no. And that is what we did.
All right, but before the Congress, did you know about this splinter group? And then was anything done for reconciliation before the Congress?
Very well. We not only know them, we know them very well, because it started in 2018. You know, it also started with the governorship primaries in 2018, October 1st. This splinter group had their own governorship primaries. And when the committee from Abuja,
the same people,
the same set of people, they are, when the governorship primary committee came from Abuja and fixed the Congress for the governorship primaries for October 2nd, 2018, they said no, that they already held their own on 1st of October. And for the first time in the history of this country, we had the Secretary of the State Government announcing the result of a governorship primary. And it's not a member of the Congress committee or convention committee. So it has been a long plot. And when the governor came in, the governor said he wants to bring everybody together. He said it openly that he's going to practice inclusive policy. Some people are even grumbling that, some politicians naturally we want to have winners take over. But the governor said no. I want an inclusive policy. So today in Ogun APC, you have Otuba Bengadane, who was not with us when we did this election. It was in PDP. His deputy then, Elijah Salmont, they are both with us because of the open door policy of the government. You have Boyega Nasiru Isiaka, GNI, who contested the governorship against Dapo Abiodun, our own governor, in 2019. Is now in APC. So we have been able to, we have Rotimi Pasheda from SDP, who contested as governorship candidate. He has now joined us in APC. So we've thrown the door open, even in the governor's cabinet. You have commissioners, you have special advisors, you can point to that this one was from PDP, this one was from, because you see, after the election, you become the governor of everybody, not the governor of a senatorial district, where your projects will be concentrated at the detriment of others. You know, so you now have to ask, if you went this route in 2019 and you didn't succeed, why do you want to go to that same route? If as a sitting governor, you are suspended by your party, it's a bad record. I believe that lessons should have been learned. But when two people are at loggerhead now, and this one says, I am ready for peace, and the other one says, I'm not ready for peace, you cannot force him. It's like when you are begging a patient and a doctor. They said you should leave the doctor, go and beg the patient, because when the doctor prescribes the medication and refuses to take it, the illness will still be there. So we are ready. We've always said that the doors are open, but you cannot set rules outside the party. You have to follow the constitution of the party. If you are not ready to follow the constitution of the party, you can go and create your own party and have your own rules. But anywhere, look at the time during the era of PDP, when Otumba Bengadane was contesting for chairmanship of the party in Abuja. It was at the floor of the Congress that he withdrew. That is what happened with us on Saturday. The opponent withdrew for Shivyemi Sanusi, and we still had a voice vote. Then if you are having a Congress, it is mandatory, according to electoral law, that your Congress must be monitored by INEC. The State Resident Election Commissioner of INEC in Ogun State and all its directors and PRO were with us at Kuto. So that's why I said, don't ever dignify it with the word Congress. But I want to say that I'm personally embarrassed, because what our party is talking now is that, how do we support our governor to deliver dividends of democracy, not about splinter groups.
Now, talking about delivering sorry to have cut in that 2 years in office, do you not also think that this splinter group, whatever, they are members of the party who, as you rightly said, should support the governor?
Yes.
But if they are not supporting the governor, does that also suggest that they are probably displeased with the governance in Ogun State, for instance?
They can't be displeased. It's not about dividends of democracy that the governor has not performed. It's about personal agenda and ambition. For example, and I'm saying this on live TV, I stand to be contradicted. Prince Dapo Abiodun is just 2 years in office. There is no government in the history of Ogun State that have done about 500 housing units within 2 years in the history of Ogun State. I stand to be contradicted. That is what this man has done within 2 years. And he has promised that within 4 years, he wants to go as much as about 1,500, 2,000 housing units. So we believe that God helping us with access to more funds, increase IGR, he should be able to deliver 2,000 housing units. As of today, there is no local government in Ogun State that does not have government-owned and operated ambulances in the health centers. And unlike before, when you want to move a patient from one hospital in ambulance to another hospital, you have to pay. Today is free in Ogun State. And another unique thing, this is a governor who said, I will not ignore projects, abandoned or uncompleted projects by my predecessor. The Kuto Bridge is there. He has continued from where the natural practice, when this governor comes in, especially the immediate past, ignores all other projects.
In other words, the governor has performed so far, by your estimation.
Yes, when you place it on 2 years, even compare the 2 years to somebody who spent 8 years. What was the record in housing? What was the record in health? Today we have modern, brand new fire stations. At least the governor has built 2 and he has renovated others in Ogun State. You understand? But what we are saying is that he should not be distracted. He wants to do more. And we thank God that he has said that I will not be distracted. If you look at education, we are doing well. When the governor came in, the Tertiary College of Education was not running. There was prolonged crisis which you are aware of. Today, it has just been rated as the best college of education in Nigeria. The same thing with Mapole. But what people don't know, which we continue to say, is that in a democracy, people continue to ask for more. And they have the right to ask for more. Look at the issue of roads in Ogun State. The governor has done a lot of roads. Look at the Jebu-Ekpe road, Agbara-Aton road. But people are still asking for more. Even when these roads are that of federal government, people are not interested.
Just like the one at Ota.
They are not interested whether it belongs to federal government. The point is that this is Ogun State and we have a governor. Go and fix it. And that is why for now, thank God, that particular road has been taken over by Chief Mike Adenuga, who is going to construct it and get tax relief from the government. So the more you do, the more people want to. We have renovated at least a school in each of the 236 wards. I'm saying this on live TV. But people will still say, fine, you have renovated. Come and give us Wi-Fi.
We will still ask for more.
Yes.
Now let's look at the issue of the Congress that we're still talking about. You said at another level it was the Congress by the other group. It was described as a naming ceremony.
Yeah, by the party secretary from Abuja. And I said it's a reunion of family and friends.
I know even our governor here, talking about the experience in Lagos State, Governor Sanwo-Olu also described what happened in Lagos as a naming ceremony. That's the Congress by the other group. Now, if you describe a Congress organized by a former governor and a sitting senator, that's Senator Ibikunle Amosun, as a naming ceremony, would that not be underestimating the challenges or the real issues within the party? Don't forget that in 2019, his candidate was so close to the winner that it was just 19,000 votes. That difference between them. You want to dare such a person again?
We thank God that you said it was 19,000 was so close. But when you look at governorship election, you know that even 1,000 votes is not so close. That is number one. Number two, we need to remind our people that we thank God that we survived because it was the sitting governor. Have you forgotten that somebody was caught in Ota? A commissioner under him was caught in Ota with 30,000 ballot papers. If that has entered that the calculation, probably we will not be here talking about that. A serving commissioner from Ota was caught with 30,000 already completed papers. But secondly,
so it gave the governor a good run for his money.
Sure, but it is not to say that we are underestimating.
Which may be replicated.
It's not that to say we are underestimating. We don't. In politics, you always bring people together. But what of people or someone who has refused to be brought together? What of somebody who has ignored the calculation, the intervention of people, of eminent people? He has his agenda. But in 2009, he was a sitting governor now, and a senator-elect, and he had other people that supported him. But what I also want to say is to thank the people of Ogun State, thank the voters. Go and find out all the politicians in all the political parties put together. They are not up to 10% of voters. They may make a lot of noise, create elaborate, but it is still the voters that will vote. That is why we say Prince Dapo in Ogun State wants to remain focused on his agenda. Those he has done, those he wants to do. This is just 2 years, 2 years plus. He still has a long. Have you ever had the governor now? Have you ever had the governor talking anywhere about second term? He hasn't. He will still talk about it, and as a party, we field our best striker for the match. But now he's concentrating on governance, and there are records to show for it.
Now, your last word to to even the
prayer group. Yeah,
the aggrieved party.
Yes. My last word is ayé ṣì wà láti tọ́mọlúwàbí ẹ ṣe. The doors are still open. This is our governor, is a prince. Ọmọọba kì í jagun bí ẹrú. The doors are open.
You have to interpret that to it's a national TV.
Yeah, ọmọọba kì í jagun bí ẹrú. The royal blood, the prince, does not fight like a slave. If other people, today we have Otunba, we have Aremo Oshoba in the party, it's not having issue with the governor. We have Otunba in the party, it's not having issue with Mr. Kwabiodu. We have Boyega, also Isaka. We have Senator Kaka. All of them are together. They are not having issues with the governor. Why this particular politician of Ogun State? We should subject ourselves to the party constitution. Nobody, even President Kwabiodu, is not bigger than APC. It's not bigger than our constitution. Even as a city governor, let alone of election.
All right, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. That's a good place to just end the discussion.
We will certainly bring our guests back. The events are just about unfolding now.
But get them to come and say what
they will come.
Yes,
they will come.
All right, thank you, sir. Our guest is the APC Publicity Secretary.
I'm Comrade, I'm not Mr.
Okay.
Comrade.
I'm so sorry. Comrade Tunde Oladujoye, the APC Publicity Secretary of Ogun State. Thank you so much again.
It's my pleasure.
Have a good ride back to Abeokuta. You going by train?
Yes, I'm going by train.
That's part of the dividends of democracy.
From President Muhammadu Buhari and APC.
All right, so we'll be going on to the second discussion now, and then we'll be talking about the NSAS 1 year after. We'll be right back.
Loads of goodies for you this October.
Get a drink. This calls for a celebration.
Some love.
I'm sorry. I love you so much.
Some suspense. Some music.
We're going to be talking about songs that have their own special dance moves.
And a spice of life on the brighter side with Mercy.
Going to spend more than 3 months in America.
Allow us to give you that premium entertainment you deserve.
Everything makes sense right now.
On Africa Magic.
Okay, you're welcome back. The program is still Summit, and in this segment of the program, we're going to be talking about NSAS 1 year after. Today, the youth in Nigeria are commemorating that day, and probably you see them around town doing a peaceful protest, especially in Lagos. I know that there's supposed to be a peaceful protest in Lagos. All right, and I have joining me this morning for this aspect of the discussion, Engineer Martins Onovo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, and I also have Oloye Adegboyega Adeniji. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, so these are people who are very current with political issues in Nigeria. I don't think I need to say more about Engineer Martins Onovo. You're welcome.
Thank
All right,
you.
so talking about NSAS, this is 1 year after. How much has changed in the polity? Let's have Engineer Martins Onovo. How much has changed after 1 year after that NSAS protest?
But with respect to NSAS, very little has changed. Very, very little has changed. And incidentally, just a few days ago, we had the Kogi State police checkpoint incident that went viral, where some policemen at a checkpoint arrested a student with a laptop and had to force him and go with him to go and withdraw money, 25,000 from an ATM. I mean, this is what NSAS was about. It was about abuse of police authority, which in many cases had led to deaths. It was also an opportunity for the majority of Nigerians to complain about other issues that arise out of bad governance. And that is why I say that not much has changed. I heard a government official claiming that SARS has been disbanded. But I know that SARS has not really been disbanded. There was a change of name. You have two units now in the police. One is called Crack Squad. The other is called SWAT. Borrowed from the American Special Weapons and Tactics team. So, has SARS really been disbanded? No. But that is part of the strategy for managing the situation, which is what the government could have done to manage the crisis. What do I mean? SARS is Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Ordinarily, that's a very good thing. But it was abused. So the problem was not having a Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The problem was the abuses of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. It was that simple. But since the protesters, being citizens, demanded an end to the SARS unit and won't accept even a reform, it was very simple. The government could have admitted the position of the citizens, because constitutionally the citizens are the sovereign. So you admit the position, you disband the SARS unit, you create another anti-robbery unit like what they have done now that they call the Crack Squad and SWAT. That's what they could have done with a different name. That's what they try to do now. But when you have an ulterior motive, you won't get the right results. You must have the right motives to address the real issues. Because SARS had killed a lot of people. And now it's not just an allegation. With the panels you have, we have seen a lot. We have confirmed so much of the information. And you can see the tyrannical reaction of the government, which, like I said, very little has changed. The government still, even after an appeal court judgment, is unwilling to respect the rights of citizens to protest. The government is not the sovereign. We are the sovereign. We have a right to protest. If that is in dispute, the Court of Appeal has confirmed that we have a right to protest. But you can see the mentality. There is a clear judgment of the Court of Appeal. Before you get to the level of a commissioner of police, you should know that. You have served long enough. There have been incidents. When a judgment of this kind of import is delivered, you should look at it.
Thank God he made an about turn.
Oh, he has made an about turn. Better for us.
On that decision.
So that he doesn't go around shooting innocent people again.
All right. So on that, we have already said that the polity has not changed much, or at all. I don't know. Then let's look at this panel of inquiries that were set up in some of these states.
Yeah.
I know that yesterday in Lagos, the government of Lagos State actually gave out some compensations to some families of the affected youth.
Victims.
Look at this panel of inquiry. In your own estimation, have they done well? Have they handled these inquiries? Have they handled it satisfactorily, so to speak?
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
A rotten system can never produce anything good. We have a systemic challenge in Nigeria. And all the panel is set up to do is to panel beat all the excesses of government.
And it took them so long.
Oh yes, because they need to cover up so many things. You see, and that is why we continue to say that any change in the system in Nigeria must be positive, because there are two sides to every issue. The change we have seen so far very, very negative to the purpose of creation, which is service to humanity. You get it? So the panel, all panels from the inception of this government and previous ones, they set up panels to panel beat, and at the end of the day, all their reports are under the table.
What about Lagos State actually went as far on the eve?
That's right. On the
and
eve
this was
of the
done on the
anniversary.
eve of the anniversary.
Why on the
compensating
eve?
families.
Why on the eve? Just to pretend as if they are on the side of the people. But previously, all these issues were denied. So it's very, very unfortunate that our so-called Democrats that have been opportune to be in leadership positions since 1999 have turned out to be very, very deceptive. They are not serving the humanity of Nigerians. Rather, they are oppressing and exploiting the humility and the what should I say?
Docility.
The civility, the civility
yes,
of the people to amass wealth. Where are you taking this wealth to? Everything. Look at the in Lagos. Okay, SARS, as he had rightly says, is a child of situation when armed robbers, anti-robbery. What is their business with people who are carrying their laptop? Is laptop a gun?
Or is it robbery?
What is their business with my phone? You see? So it is excesses. When they create a law, all the loopholes are what those we call government people, they seek and exploit to abuse citizens' freedom.
All right, so today we are, the youth of Nigeria are actually commemorating 1 year of EndSARS, and they still
Great.
came up with requests, demands
That's right.
from government. They said, release all prisoners of conscience,
Good.
justice and compensation for all victims of SARS, independent investigation of police brutality. Again, this was one of their initial demands.
That's right.
Training and good salary for policemen. These are the demands for today's protest.
That's right.
Are they in line?
Very much.
Because these
in
are
line.
some of the things they demanded initially anyway.
It means the government has not changed positively. It means the government is not responding to the citizens. And what is the essence of government? You see, the government is set up to make sure everybody has equal access to good things of life. A friendly society where no one is oppressed by the other. However, the government is now the group oppressing the citizens. Look at it, 1 year, 3 of those issues were in their first demand. It means they have not addressed it. Now, why in putting people in detention because of their conscience, because of what they said? And we say we are in a democracy. You see, so until we have a fundamental change of the interpersonal and intergovernmental relationships between the citizens and government, between citizens to citizens in Nigeria, we will not get it right.
Okay, all right, so but news reaching us right now is that the police has barred the people from protesting at Lekki right now. Now, how democratic is that? Because I know that the police, the commissioner of police in Lagos State said, go about your protest peacefully. Now we are hearing that they have barred stop them from protesting in Lekki. How democratic is that?
Well, media reports also indicated this morning that they were arresting the protesters and putting them in a Lagos State Task Force van. That was from the media. That is expected because when the Commissioner of Police has this mentality of threatening his employer, who are the citizens, who are also the constitutional sovereign, the source of power. That's what the Constitution says.
But you know that usually there's always a conflict between the governor of the state and the police. Because they don't take instructions from the governor.
No, a governor is not an ordinary journalist.
So probably this instruction is coming from the federal level.
If the governor insists on what is lawful, nobody is above the law. And the governor has capacity to push for the enforcement of a law. So there's not an ordinary journalist just making a report. If the governor says, Commissioner of Police, I don't care what instruction you have got, consider I'm the Chief Security Officer of the state, respect the rights of protesters. If the Commissioner of Police tries otherwise, the state attorney general is going to file a suit. You're going to get judgment. It is in the same circumstances that we got the appeal court judgment that says police has no right to either demand that protesters get police permit, because that is constraining their freedom. What is the issue? The issue is that the law says your protest must be peaceful.
Yeah.
That's all. If you go around with a PA rod breaking people's head, that's not peaceful protest. You're going to be arrested.
What about their reason for wanting to stop protests, that looters and hoodlums usually infiltrate their ranks?
What will the looters loot at Lekki toll gate? Secondly, if the police is there, they can identify a looter. We know who was protesting. We know that they are very responsible people. We know that they are not children. They had the Nigerian flag as their sign, as a sign of their patriotism. Now, what kind of a military force shoots citizens, unarmed citizens, bearing its own flag? They are shooting at Nigeria, that is the meaning. To shoot an unarmed citizen bearing a Nigerian flag, you are shooting Nigeria. Why do the military... So, this is completely dysfunctional.
Oh, yes.
That's what it is. All these things are beyond the contemplation of any democratic mind. These people has crossed every line of both morality, law, and even social relations. You don't do it. You don't do it. You shoot your own citizens, unarmed, bearing your own flag. Who does that? Even in war, conventions of war, if the enemy in war flies a white flag, you don't shoot him.
Yes.
It's a sign that he wants a peace talk. You don't shoot him, even an enemy in a war. These people are our own people. Brilliant children, youth, bearing our flag, many of them celebrities. And you open fire on them. Who does that kind of thing?
All right, so 1 year after, we are still having a replay of the resistance to peaceful protests that played out last year, exactly a year today. Now, I'm worried because of these statistics that the National Bureau of Statistics puts unemployment rate in Nigeria at 33.3% compared to 23.1% in 2020. And this unemployment rate is expected to rise to 35.2% by end of 2021.
Great.
Now we have these youths protesting for a better life.
Great.
Are you saying, are you envisaging that there's actually a future, plans to keep them engaged, plans to provide employment, plans to provide a better life, to assuage the anger that is in this youth?
Well, as far as I see and I have experienced, this government does not have such in mind. And they don't have even the wherewithal or the intellectual capacity to do that. And that is why the rate of employment has been increasing. You see? Now, very, very salient issues that can mitigate these challenges. This government has refused to do it. Every corner of Nigeria now, they are asking for a restructured system of governance. This government, the president has said, is not going to restructure Nigeria. As we are sitting down here, the youths in the southeast are having a debate on restructuring. It is very, very simple. This system is not working. Let's try another system. Let everybody be able to manage within his own area. You see, but why did they refuse? Because they have seen themselves as an army of occupation. And they can shoot at any Nigerian, even while holding your flag. They shoot you down. With the ammunition you use Nigerian money to buy. Why is there banditry in the Zamfara in Katsina? Because they refuse to restructure that the state has mineral resources. Manage your resources and employ your youth. But brigands are going there to mine it. And so, while mining, it is my turn, it is your turn, and they kill themselves. Simple. So, the only solution to Nigeria is to restructure the system, security, and economic management of this country. Let us restructure it. And that is why we are asking the youth to prepare, to vote in the group that is ready to restructure Nigeria by 2023.
That's where I'm going to, because we say that the youth have reasons to demand better future and governance.
That's right.
Now, for this dream to be realized, the youth also have their part to play. Like if you ask some of these youth, they don't even have a PVC. They have not registered for their voters card. Now, what would your advice be for them, even as they are protesting today?
Well, there's a lot to advise the youth, but before I go there, just to add to what Olori Adeniji has said, it is interesting that the restructuring that Olori Adeniji is pushing is in the manifesto of the ruling party.
And they refuse to implement.
So nobody should be pushing it for them. They should be pushing what is in their manifesto. So when we talk about deceit,
Deception.
That's what this is evidence. You put something in your manifesto to deceive people, you get to power after 6 years. You say anybody who says that thing, you are going to shoot him. But that's what you have in your manifesto. That's what you told people you were going to do. I have a copy. I'm not saying what a journalist told me. I have a copy of the manifesto of the ruling, but it's clearly there. And they even set up a committee led by El Rufai on restructuring. So why are they not pushing the agenda?
Maybe they don't have a good understanding.
No, they have it in their manifesto.
They set up a committee. It's deception, period.
That's what it is. So let's go back to the youth.
Question, yeah.
I think a majority of the youth are registered. Because when you look at the registration data published by INEC, the majority of them have registered. I agree with you that some of them are not registered. But you know the circumstances. Person may have just relocated from the UK after the registration period and things like that. But I know that if you look at the data from INEC, a majority of the youth are registered. I can state with full confidence that from independence till today, we have a confession from a colonial officer that represents Harold Smith, the independence elections. Votes have never counted in Nigeria. Nigeria was founded on electoral malpractice based on the testimony of Harold Smith, colonial officer, as at the time of the elections. And it has continued. And you can see what happened in 2019, where INEC refused access to its electronic saver to convert the election results. Because we monitored the election and we are convinced that Buhari lost the election. And we have said this 1,000 times. He lost the election in 2015. He lost the election in 2019. We have information, scientific information to show that. So this is not just about voting, and I think that the youth also realize that. And using their energy of youth, that's why they think that a protest to shock the system might lead to better results. Because if we wait for election results and the election gets rigged again, why are you doing an Anambra election in November? Because it was rigged and somebody was in office for 3 years, illegitimately, until the courts got him out. That's why you're doing an Anambra election in November. Otherwise, you would have done it when you did others. Yeah. So this is what we're saying. If that case was not upturned by the courts, the illegitimate man would have remained in office. So that's our point. Why this thing is, we need a multifaceted approach because the problems are like the urgent table.
All right, thank you so much. Oh, we have to go now. Our time is fast spent. All right, so thank you so much, sir, for lending your voice to this discussion this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right. So please, we want to advise the youth to do whatever you do, please do it peacefully.
Yes.
And wherever you are asked to leave the streets, please leave the streets. The message is already loud and clear. My name is Jumoke Michaels, and I also sign out on behalf of Banji Busare. See you again on Monday. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry. Today is the birthday of our chairman of Muri International Television, Alhaji Muri Badeyonka Busari. We wish him a happy birthday. We pray for many happy returns of the day. We ask for God's strength, God's innate ability in his life. Happy birthday, sir. God bless you. See you again.